Eagles fans, welcome back to another episode of Eagle Watch. I'm your host, Lucas, joined by Matt Janis, head coach of the UWL football team. And this is a show where we talk all things UWL football, sponsored by Pizza Ranch. And what a game here. So the Eagles went into Whitewater, a top 10 matchup, fans filling the stands, and came out with the most thrilling wins of the season here. So down 17-0 at halftime, UWL stormed back to beat UW Whitewater in a double overtime thriller, 23-20, their third straight win over the Warhawks here. And now the team is sitting at 3-0, 1-0 in the WIAC, and they'll return home to take on the Blue Golds, UW Eau Claire, this Saturday at Roger Herring Stadium. So let's talk about this comeback here. You got me wanting to run through a brick wall. I said that right when you came into the doors. This team is exciting. Let's hear about this.
Yeah, I mean, we started slow, obviously, right? Like we started pretty slow, and I don't know. You try to reflect back on that as a coach. I mean, we always travel well. I do feel like that's like we stayed overnight. We had a good travel plan. I think our kids had plenty of time to kind of, some downtime at the hotel, some meeting time. We had the huge extended bye, so I don't know if that was part of it. The bye weeks are nice, but you certainly it's like you need like a week and a half, not a full 2 weeks. And then you start getting a little amped up. You get too crazy about it schematically from a player perspective. We just got to start flat. It really wasn't our team, and I think part of that was it wasn't the moment. I don't think our guys were nervous. I think, to be honest, I think we were too amped up, and just hearing the locker room and usually our locker room's kind of quiet before the game, and this one, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, like a lot of guys that were just amped up, and we couldn't kind of come down, because you need to get in, I know people think, oh, well, you're a football player, you just got to be in that amped up stage all the time. You really don't want them in that, right?
Just stay calm, too.
You want them calm, you want them relaxed, you want them kind of in that demeanor, you want them focused. So maybe just a little too amped in the first half, and then, I think as that first half went along, we couldn't find the energy play, right? Like we were having a little struggles on offense, defensively. I thought we were doing some really good things. We were adjusting well to, some of their stuff, and it was hard. Like they were putting a quarterback in the run game. They were using a tailback to lead up for them. They were motioning a receiver in and putting plus, whatever that is, +2, +3 in the box. And so we're getting at 4 yards of carry in that first half. So I don't think we were playing all that bad overall. We just couldn't find that energy play to get us rolling, and so we go in the halftime, and I think I was pretty frank with them, that's not it. That's not our team right now. I told them, I thought we just looked slow out there. We didn't look like that was our speed on defense, our speed on offense, and just told them we're going to go out this locker room and we're going to go win this game, and then the rest of it, the second half, that's a credit to our coaching staff, and that's a credit to our players, because I really didn't do much. I made some decisions, as a head coach. That's part of being a head coach, right? But after that, I watched our players play, and I watched our coaches coach, and they just kind of chipped away at it. And obviously, the big momentum play that we just needed one of them. We needed something to score, and that was that kind of bobbled snap, and then our PBR team, being our pump block return team, being able to strip the ball loose, recover for a touchdown, and get us on the board. And that was kind of our energy play. We get some stops, we start generating that, and it just kind of kept building as we go through regulation, and then obviously into overtime as well, where the momentum just completely flipped throughout the course of that game.
Yeah, talk a little bit about, you already mentioned the adrenaline was high right away from the start, and being down that much at halftime. Do the jitters happen every game, or was this game particularly special because it was Whitewater?
Well, I think part of it is when you do play your conference rival, right? That's part of it, and any conference game, right? That's just kind of part of playing in that. I think the ability of, hey, it's the first conference game. I think where our two teams were both in the rankings, being top 10 opponents, top 10 opponent. I think as the hype built throughout the week, I think the amount of people that our kids kind of knew and could feel that atmosphere even when our bus has just pulled in, you could feel that atmosphere with everything. So I think there's kind of a couple different factors that kind of go into that. And like I said, I don't know if jitters is the right word. It just wasn't us. It just was just flat for that first kind of for the first half. It was just flatlined, and like the big thing is we needed the momentum play to get the energy back up, to get our team back up, and part of it at that place, like, yes, there was 20,000 plus people at that thing, but at that place, like, your visitor fans are the ones that matter. It's really not that loud as an opponent. Like, when they have stuff going on, or they have momentum, or they have touch, it really doesn't feel that loud. But like, our stands are right on top. So like, there's our bench, right, and our stands are right on top of us, and right. And so like, we need to get them going as well, right? We needed some kind of a momentum play to get that energy going, because once you have that, then like we got everybody,
just feed off
parents, fans, like, and they're like right on top of you, and they're screaming and they're yelling. So like, when we get into the second half now, and we make momentum play, and our defense gets a stop, and like you can hear that, like, that's the stuff that really affected our guys, was our crowd and being able to get the energy from them, and then to be able to feed off of that as the game went rolling.
Awesome. Yeah, you mentioned at halftime, you said to the team, you're down 17-0. Mm-hmm. You said, we're going to go out and win this game. Was there confidence in that locker room? Like, did they already know, like, we're going to get this done?
There was not a moment where I ever felt like our team lost it.
Yeah.
And like, like when you can see that, and you've been a part of that at times where you just kind of feel like you just lost it. And we have a tremendous set of leadership within our football program. I mean, our captains, and Tyler Bowman was our 5th rotating captain in that game. They were phenomenal. And then we have a really good senior class. It's not just a team's not just when you have 115 guys. It's not just 4 and a rotating captain, 5 guys that make the say and everything. Like, we got a really good senior class, and a senior class, like, we look at like Tate Pitcher and Bodie and Henry Walsh, like, and Chris Powell. Like, those are guys that have played in so many of these battles, right? Like, and that's where, like, when you have experience, that's where it, like, matters, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't get like overwhelmed by them. Okay, 17. Okay, we're okay, whatever. Like, and they just kind of keep chipping away. They know how that goes, and so when you have your leadership from your captains and your leadership from your senior class, like, that whole thing, like, that's what makes that's why you come back when you're down 17-0, because of those guys.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy forming together, and that's what you need. So let's talk a little bit about special teams here. We don't get to talk about this a lot. Michael Stack, in particular, came in clutch here. 3 field goals, including the game winner in double overtime. Let's talk about his composure. How proud are you?
Oh, Stack? Oh, come on. I mean, like, it couldn't.
Ice.
That stuff couldn't happen. Like, all that happens to Michael is a wonderful human being, and so just to have like stuff like that happen to him, like that is just so awesome for him, because he truly deserves it. But I mean, what a ride for Michael over the course of his career. And 3 years ago at that spot, he makes a huge kick, does the same thing, right? A game-winning walk-off kick at that place. Then that kind of catapults him throughout his sophomore year, and he has a really good sophomore year. He goes into his junior year as a preseason All-American. And then he hit a rut, and then he couldn't. Like, we had some misses. He just had just one of those ruts that kickers fall into. It's not like his leg or his technique fell apart. He just and it's not like a confidence issue, because he's a really special, tremendous kicker. But we just couldn't put the ball through the H, and we had to make some changes at the kicker position. And as we went through kind of the tail end of last year, and he goes into this year now, it's kind of a battle, and we were going back and forth, and he just worked his tail off. I mean, and he continues to do that. Like, spent all summer working, going to camps, like, trying to get better, watching film. Like, I remember I sat down with him maybe it was April, and he pulls out his iPad, and he's got every ball that he's kicked marked on on a diagram of where it went, where he hit the ball on, like, how much work that guy puts into his craft is unreal. And then he worked his tail off throughout this week and throughout the bye week. And then when we get to the game, like, I don't think what a lot of people understood, and like, I know Coach Rindle, like, everybody's kind of jumping on like why they didn't go for it at the end, or why they took a knee at the end of regulation. There was a really strong wind in that game, and so like Michael, like when we had that, like it took us, I think, until maybe 12-15, like probably 45 minutes before kickoff. Like, we have to like go as with our kicking staff, and John Larson did a great job, and myself, and like we're sitting there like watching, like we had to work on where Michael's going to aim on certain ends of the field, because on the scoreboard side it was completely different than what the locker room side was. And like, so like there was so much that we had to do, and so many kicks that Michael had to take before the game just to make sure that he was accurate. And he likes it on certain hashes, and when there's no wind, but because of the wind, he had to go on his other there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, it's a science.
And for Michael to like do all that, and I know everybody talks about the game-winning kick, but Michael's kick from 42 yards was that put us within a one-score possession to make it 17. That was a huge kick. You certainly want touchdowns in overtime, especially when you're the first team that goes. But to make a kick and get us on the board in overtime, and then obviously to come in and do the game winner, like it's just awesome for Michael, and just so happy for him. And I think it just shows the value of his work ethic and what he put into that. And then, overall, as a special teams, and then we talked about the punt return team scoring a touchdown. Like, that's a game. Like we preach special teams and winning the third phase of the program and how important that is, especially when you're playing one possession games. And this was a game I was really worried about our special teams, not from the matchups perspective, but they had a really good kick returner. Like I think he's got 6 career touchdowns already for, like, we weren't going to put it anywhere near him. We actually made a mistake. Accidentally kicked it to him, but like we weren't going to put it anywhere near him. And so like I was really worried about our special teams and just trying to balance that and try to even that matchup, right? Like I'm like, okay, that's one we just need to even. We got to make sure that Tyler Vassy doesn't touch the ball. We had to do some of that stuff on our punt team. We got to make sure he didn't touch the ball. And so we were trying to go into that game trying to even out the special teams then we go into that and we walk away and we won the special teams battle with that, and hence why we won the game.
Definitely. When you look at games like this, physical, emotional, high stakes, how do you keep all the fellas even keeled?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Learning, I think. I know we had a big win, I think last year, and I was just a jerk the next day, and tried to, and that's not really the way to go about it. And so we had Victory Monday yesterday, and so we got our awards out. We got we got a chance to kind of talk about everything, and by the time that kind of ends, we're on to the next week. And in our conference, like we don't get to just hang on to this one for 2.5 weeks. We're going to get UW Eau Claire's best shot. Like we know that. Like this is a team that's playing really well throughout the non-conference season. Had a little setback against Stout, but they're doing some really good things. And so like we don't have time to sit there and hold our heads and talk about the Whitewater game all the time. Like it's kind of how football works. By the time that Victory Monday's done and we close the book on that, it's time now for Eau Claire, and we jumped into that. We started practicing at, we were at practicing at, 6 a.m. yesterday, and starting to get rolling on them and show their schemes, and so there's not much time to dwell on it. It's kind of like Cinderella, right? They get to like midnight on Saturday, and then that's it. Then we're back. It's over. It's time to move on. Yeah,
live in the moment, celebrate that well-fought victory, but as you said, it's on to the next one. And let's talk a little bit about UW Eau Claire after talking a little bit about Pizza Ranch.
Pizza Ranch serves buffet your way. Dive into our buffet featuring a variety of legendary pizzas, crispy fried chicken, and classic American sides. And don't miss out on the excitement of our Fun Zone arcade. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
All right, Coach, back home this weekend. What's the mindset going into this matchup with UW Eau Claire?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously exciting to be back home. And always exciting. I think that to me, Roger Herring Stadium's a really special place, and so I know for our guys to be back home after being on the road like that's huge in itself. But another WIAC game and another WIAC opponent, and the first thing we talked about as a football staff, and then also with our players, was there's a program that's going to make us work now. Like as coaches, like their staff is going to make us work schematically on both sides of the ball and in the special teams category. And so, like just from a schematic standpoint, we got a lot that's going on. They do some really good trades and some shifts and some motions on offense. I think they do a really good job of utilizing their best players, and they do a good job of. And we saw that with Tyler Vassy and number 7 at Whitewater last week, and we're going to see it now with number 0 on Eau Claire. We'll see some different things. I mean, he's in the backfield, he's at receiver, he's at the kick returner. My guess is he'll probably, after seeing Tyler Vassy, probably come back and take some Wildcat snaps with some of that against us. And then they have a defense that does play really physical. They're going to be in a kind of a crush alignment where they're going to try to condense the A's and B's. They're playing a ton of different coverages. I really like their one. He's playing kind of some mostly boundary corner. He's a transfer there that's a really good player and has played in our league before. I think the Hoffner kid at linebacker is a really physical football player and a really hard-nosed linebacker. And they, like I said, they do a good job of funneling that. They just do do a bunch of different disguises with their secondary. Those guys are kind of always moving, rolling different coverages. So, like I told our guys, like we're going to have our hands full just from their coaching staff, let alone the players that they bring in. They're using really their one quarterback, their sophomore quarterback. He's going to be good. I mean, he's going to continue to improve as the season goes on. You can see the confidence that he has, the ability with his arm to stretch the field vertically, and then he does have some ability to run the ball as a quarterback, and they're using that. And they bring in another quarterback who's a really good athlete and use some more quarterback run game with them. So it's going to be like I said, it's another WIAC battle, and that's what these games are. That's what the next 6 weeks will be. And special teams is going to make a difference. And in our team, we need to come out and we got to be able to match the momentum. They're going to try to find momentum early here, and whether it's on special teams, they're going to try to steal some possession. So we have to do a really good job of being sound in our technique, and then we got to be ready for a physical football game now. And we just played one, and we're going to get 6 more of them, but this is going to be a physical football game here on Saturday from both sides.
Yeah. How annoying is it to prepare for a dual threat quarterback?
It's annoying.
Yeah.
That's probably the right way to use it. Is annoying. In 17 for Eau Claire does a really good job. It's annoying because like you can play the right coverage, right?
Yeah.
We got the right coverage, and you feel as a coach you're on it. Like, okay, I rolled down to this, or I bracketed this guy, and I got the right coverage, and then all of a sudden he escapes and gets a first down, or he sees some kind of you're bad in your pass rush lane. It's annoying, probably more frustrating than anything. And he does a good job with this. And they're going to move the pocket on us, and they're going to give them, hey, here's read 1, here's read 2. If not, tuck the ball and go. And so that's hard. That's hard to cover. You got to have the right coverage on the outside. You're going to have the right coverage in the box, so you got eyes on them, and that's challenging. Definitely challenging.
Yeah. I don't usually like talking about like a trap game mindset, like that saying. Obviously the focus is there with your guys' team, but how do you make sure that this isn't a trap game or like that mindset?
There's no such thing in the WIAC. I mean, that's how this conference goes.
Yeah.
If you don't play your best game, you're gonna get beat. Like that's just this conference. Like there's too many good coaches. There's too many good players. Like you don't get to just put it on cruise control and do any of that stuff. So our kids know that. And we preach that all the time with the respect that I have for our league and our coaches and our players. And I tell our players that all the time. Like, you don't play your best game, we'll get beat, and that's true in this league.
Yeah, you can't let off the gas at all. I mean, that's anything in sports. So what can fans expect? This Saturday, I believe the game's at 11:40 a.m. at Roger Herring. What can they expect for this matchup?
Yeah, it's kind of like a brunch tailgate now, right? Like you got the early slate of games, so it's a little bit different. I think that's we've always kind of played this between our two schools. We got a really cool thing going. We always played this thing pretty early in the morning, and so I think from a travel perspective, it's things you got to get up early, but because of the distance between our schools, it's really not too bad with anything. No, I think what we're going to expect is, again, like I've been preaching, like another physical WIAC football game where there's going to be kind of haymakers thrown back and forth. I think you're going to see a lot from their offense. I think you're going to see some really good passing concepts. I think you're going to see some really great utilization of some of their best players. And then I think defensively, like we're going to have to get, like when you look at their defense, like it's tough to run the ball against them. It really is. It's really tough because of the way they play, because of the way they align. Like we're going to have to try to get just something going on the run game, so that they have to kind of force some of their coverages and get more guys in the box, so that we can try to get the ball outside and in space.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a great matchup. And as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lucas.
And congratulations on that win. Obviously, we're past it, but it was a hell of a win.
It was.
It's a good time. This is a fun team to follow right now. So if you're not on the train with UWL, get on it now, because it's exciting. Sports are fun right now, and
sports are fun.
It's a good time. So see you next week for another episode of Eagle Watch. And Matt Janis, go Eagles.
Go Eagles.